I genuinely feel like I'm losing my mind and I need advice. Last Thursday, my husband left me. This wasn't even the first time. He did the same thing last year. Whenever life gets stressful or he feels overwhelmed, he just leaves. No real conversation, no solutions, just leaves. This time he looked at me and said, "I can't do this anymore." Then he walked out. Just like that. Meanwhile, I'm left at home with our 3 kids, trying to explain why Dad isn't here, trying to keep it together, trying to act normal when I felt like my entire life was falling apart. Then, a few days later, he started reaching out. At first it was texts, then phone calls, then he showed up at the house crying. And when I say crying, I mean crying. This man was literally begging me not to give up on our marriage, begging me not to let him leave, telling me he couldn't imagine life without me, that he wanted our family, telling me he never wanted a divorce. Looking back, he said every single thing I wanted to hear. And the worst part, I believed him. I believed every word. After that, he became the husband I'd been missing, helping around the house, playing with the kids, being affectionate, holding me when I cried, kissing me on the forehead, telling me everything was going to be okay. He even started therapy, got put on medication for depression, set up couples counseling, sat our children down, and promised them he wasn't leaving again. My 8-year-old has been struggling so much that she's been seeing a therapist, and he looked that little girl in the eyes and promised her he wasn't going anywhere. I really thought things were getting better. I really did. Then 4 days later, everything blew up. 4 days, he came home from work. I was actually excited because we were supposed to spend the weekend together. Christmas was coming up. We were talking about taking the kids to see Christmas lights. I thought we were finally moving forward. The second he walked through the door, he looked at me and said, "I'm in love with someone else." Just like that. No warning, no build-up, nothing. I honestly think my brain shut down. I remember staring at him. I remember asking, "What?" Then, "Who?" And after that, everything feels blurry. I called my mom because I knew I was about to completely lose it. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I couldn't even process what was happening. Meanwhile, he's standing there, crying, like somehow he was the victim. Then he asked if he could see the kids. Absolutely not. Not because I would ever keep my children from their father, but because I wasn't about to let them watch him destroy our family in real time. Eventually, I found out who she was. And honestly, that part might hurt almost as much as what he did. It wasn't some random woman. It was a woman whose child goes to school with our daughter. I don't even know if I should call her my friend at this point. A woman I've spoken to. A woman I trusted. And suddenly, so many things started making sense. A few months ago, I remembered telling her about some of the struggles in my marriage. Nothing major. Just normal marriage stuff. I remembered telling her that my husband had a habit of shutting down when he got stressed. Do y'all want to know what she said? She told me I deserve better. She told me not to settle. She told me that if a man wasn't treating me right, I should leave. She kept telling me to leave my husband. At the time, I thought she was being supportive. Now I can't stop wondering if she was hoping I'd actually do it. The more I replay everything in my head, the more uncomfortable I get. There were times she'd randomly bring him up, times she'd ask where he was, times she'd laugh a little too hard at things he said. And because I trusted both of them, I never thought twice about it. Now I feel stupid. Because while I was treating her like a friend, she was texting my husband. While I was talking to her about my marriage, she was helping destroy it. And maybe the part that hurts most is she knew everything. She knew we were married. She knew we had children. She knew I had recently quit my job to stay home with our kids because my husband encouraged me to. She knew we were trying to save our marriage. She knew he had just promised our children he wasn't leaving again. She knew all of it, and she still chose to be with him. The more I think about it, the more I believe this didn't start recently. Nobody blows up their marriage overnight. Nobody goes from begging for their family back to being in love with someone else 4 days later. The math isn't mathing. And honestly, the thing that's haunting me the most isn't even the affair. It's wondering if the last week was all an act. The crying, the begging, the therapy, the promises, the hugs, the kisses, the talks with our kids. Was any of it real? Or was he just making sure he had a backup plan? Because the more I think about it, the more I believe he already knew he was leaving. I think he came back because he wasn't sure if things would work out with her. And once he knew they would, that's when he walked away. That's not even the crazy part. He comes home one day demanding that I should move out and leave the kids. I told him absolutely not and go to hell. I called my mother, and thankfully she was okay with allowing me and my children to stay with her. I left immediately the next day. No job, no answers. 3 weeks before Christmas, trying to figure out how my entire life fell apart in less than a week. And honestly, I don't know what's worse, the fact that he betrayed me, or the fact that I don't know if anything from the last week was ever real. So tell me honestly, am I crazy for thinking he only came back because he wanted a backup plan? Because right now that's the only thing that makes sense.